guys, so going to do a little Photoshop tutorial to create a piece of work in the style of Morten Lasskogen, hopefully not butchering his name. You can see that they're really quite fantastical, very abstract and otherworldly, so that is the look that we are kind of going for today. So again, as always, there's so many different ways that you can do it. I'm going to try and show you the easiest method that I can find in order to do so. So I'm just going to minimise this here. And you can see I've been experimenting in Photoshop so far, but I'm going to take it from the very beginning for you guys. So the first thing I am going to do, I'm going to click and drag my image into Photoshop, and it is opened up here. I am then going to start to cut out my windows. Now the great thing with these is they are obviously really quite geometric and nice sharp lines, so that's going to make it so much easier for me. Depending on the area that you want to cut out, you may be able to use the marquee tool, you might want to use the lasso tool, or polygonal lasso tool is the tool that I'm going to go for today. First thing I need to do is make sure that my background is unlocked. So if I double click, press OK, and you can see that it's unlocked. So it now means that anything that I cut out, I'm able to kind of see through that and put another image behind it. So I'm going to use my polygonal lasso tool, and all I'm going to do is select the section that I want to cut out. Now I don't want to cut out any of the kind of window ledge or the framework around it. I'm literally just want to cut out what I can see through that window, if that makes sense. So once you have selected the area, I am going to press Command X. You can see that it cuts it out for me, or you can do Edit Cut. Again, I'm going to do the same with these windows. Now again, it might zoom in a little bit here. Cut out the section that I need. So again, I don't want to cut out any of my wall or any of my framework. Select the area, Command X, and then to do exactly the same again. So I've been really lucky in that this has been relatively easy with this polygonal lasso tool. If your kind of window or your cutout area is a slightly different shape, you may need to go and refine it with the eraser tool. That is what a tool that I would recommend to kind of tidy up any edges that you need to. But again, Command X, and this is what I have. So I'm then able to layer up some images. Now, completely depends on what you want to put behind there. If I am looking into here, it might be that I perhaps have kind of skylines in there. I might want to be really kind of fantastical with it, might want it to be like the night sky, or for example, I have looked at underwater. So again, that's all I need to type in. It could be underwater, it could be sky, I might be looking for mountains, space. So there's so many different avenues that you can go down. I've literally just clicked and dragged a few images onto my desktop so that I can experiment. So I'm going to show you with the underwater. So I'm just going to have a little look and select the image that I want. I might actually go with this one here, or perhaps this one, a little bit more going on. Wait for it to load up, and I am going to right click. I can copy the image, so you can drag it onto your desktop if you wish, or I can copy the image, go back into Photoshop, and then all I need to do is Command V or Edit Paste, and you can see it's pasted my image in there. Now in order to resize anything, then you need to make sure you have your bounding box. So I would make sure that Show Transform Controls is ticked. If I try and change my image just as it is, it doesn't keep the ratio the same. So it doesn't keep the ratio the same. So what I then want to do is hold the Shift key down. And if I hold that down and drag it, no matter where I drag and move my mouse, it keeps my ratio and the constraints exactly the same. Hit Enter once I am finished. At the minute, this layer is sitting on top of the one that I want, so I can just simply drag that down. Again, I can think about resizing, and then you can reposition your image. Again, I might then want to copy that layer. I can flip it over. I want to change it slightly. Again, pressing Enter for any changes that you've made, and you get my idea. So again, I'm literally just dragging that to the little box with the plus, duplicating that layer. I might want that just to be in water, and then I can cut out this section. So you can see I've got a little bit of a variety in there. Again, experiment with creative backgrounds, some different imagery, and you get the idea. So that is how to simply do the kind of window cutout. If I want to create an image like this where I have no elements within my picture, then I'm going to do that slightly differently. So first things first, I'm going to delete these layers that I've experimented with. You can see that the initial image I have is of this little cloud. I've decided to pop that in the background, but I also want it to look as though there are clouds within my image as well. So again, I've saved it on my desktop. I'm just going to click and drag that in and on top. I'm going to press my shift key down and change the ratio, and then press enter. Now, if you have your item against a white or a kind of plain colour or black background, it's going to be really quite easy to cut out. If it is a smart layer, then we're going to need to copy and paste that layer. So I'm going to select all, so Command A, Command C, Command V. So I've copied, I've selected all, I've copied and I've pasted. I can delete my smart layer now, I don't need that. Two different things that you can do in order to delete your background rather. I can either use my magic wand tool, and then I can delete the appropriate sections if need be. Again, I can go back and undo that. Or another way you can do it is if I use the magnetic lasso, and it will go all the way around my image for you. Now, if you find you have any kind of jagged edges, anything that you want to neaten up, then again I would recommend that you can zoom in and you can use your eraser tool. So again, my magnetic lasso tool all the way around, and with the magnetic lasso the program is deciding where to kind of place and map these points. So it might cut out areas that you want, it might leave in areas that you don't. Again, you can go back and refine that, and I'll show you how to do that in just a minute. So again, I've selected the area that I want. I'm going to do Command C, Command V. I can take the visibility away from that background layer. And again, I can see that I've left in quite a few areas. So what I may want to do is go back in, make sure my opacity is quite high, take the size of my eraser down a little bit, and you can go back in and obviously crop that slightly if you wish. For me, I feel the easiest way, especially with this background, is going to be my magic wand tool. Again, I'm just going to select some of these areas that I no longer want, and you get the idea. Again, obviously it's something that you can go back and really refine and tidy up, depending on your background, depending on the image that you have. It will vary how much you need to kind of clean up. So I have my little cloud here. Again, you can position quite a few. That is entirely up to you. Once you're happy with it, press enter. Now at the minute it just looks like it's floating in the middle of my page. I want to make it look as if it's there. How do we do that? By creating shadows. So the way in which I'm really easily going to create a shadow is to go to my shape tool. So you can hold it down and go to ellipse if you can't automatically see it. I'm going to have this black, and I'm going to kind of create a little shadow. Obviously at the minute it doesn't look in any way, shape or form realistic. In order to make that happen, I'm going to decrease the opacity. So again, I'm going to take that down slightly, see how it looks. Now typically with anything, especially a cloud, we don't have it as a perfect circle, a perfect ellipse. What I'm going to do is start to kind of rub out some of those edges. Now, when I click on the eraser tool, you can see that it comes up with a little kind of no sign. If I click on it, it will ask me to rasterize the shape. I want to press OK, and then it will allow me to do so. I'm going to take my opacity down slightly, and what I want to start to do is kind of fade out some of these edges. This is where you can be really quite loose with where you are rubbing out. We want it to look obviously a lot more organic. I might change the size of my brush, lighten that slightly. Pass it down. Obviously you're going to spend a lot more time on this than what I am. And you kind of get that idea. You can see that I've got a little bit of a shadow cast. Again, play around with the opacity of not only your layer, your eraser tool, and then the objects that you are wanting to put in there. And that is how you create that piece of artwork. So I hope that helps. As always, if you've got any questions, then please just let me know.